today is a really exciting day because, as you can see right here on this table, is a full compound turbo kit for a 6-liter Power Stroke that we have been developing with True Focus Fabrication. So I'm really excited to put this kit on. I love the 6-liter Power Stroke. They have so much potential. They make all of the right noises. And I really feel like there's kind of an enthusiast movement behind the 6-liter where people are kind of treating these things as like their weekend warrior race truck. Instead of having like a hot rod, they have a hot rod 6-liter. We're gonna go over the details here in a second, but if you guys wanna hear this thing spool up, well, stick around till the end of this video because we're planning on installing this full kit today and taking it for a test drive. Let's get to work. So this is my 6-liter Power Stroke that I've been daily driving for pretty much the past 6 months. We put like 6,000 or 7,000 miles on it, and pretty much the whole time it has had a trailer behind it, towing, doing a bunch of other stuff. And I've had really good luck with this truck. The only thing we had to do was a VGT solenoid for the turbo. We did a IPR valve and one injector. Other than that, we've kind of played around with it a little bit. We worked with Blessed Performance on the tuning, but it is on the factory injectors, stock turbo right now. It has an intake, a downpipe, and a 4-inch exhaust. So in order to install all of that whole kit over there, we actually have to start removing some of these pieces. We have to take the downpipe off, this charge pipe right here, remove this battery, remove the intake because we're not gonna have an air filter over here anymore. We're gonna have air filter over here because of the compound kit. But yeah, there's nothing to it but to do it. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we will dive into this whole turbo kit and what it takes to install it. Why are you always trying to get me eating bad things on the internet? You got me with that gluten-free brownie last week. All right, so we got everything pretty much off of this. So we got everything pretty much off of the truck, and you can see right here, this is the factory turbine compressor housing. This is factory compressor housing, and you can see right here we have this version with a vibrant Vangean clamp welded onto it. So that way, obviously you don't want to be like making all of the boost, 40, 60 pounds of boost, and be dealing with like a factory coupler that's just gonna pop off. So have this, so a full stainless pipe coming right here. That is gonna go off of that turbo, and bam. So this goes bam, right over here, like so, to the factory intercooler, which comes out right here. So all that stuff is off. One of the other things we need to mess with is the oil feed for the turbo. So there's a kit that I found. They convert the factory turbo feed line to like an AN line. So you have this, which is 4AN, and then you have a little braided line that goes into the stock turbo sort of deal. So I ended up getting this little Y fitting right here. So we'll go ahead and do a little Y fitting to a little bit longer of a oil line, which will feed the second turbo. For the turbo drain, we just have your standard like S475, like sort of drain like this. We haven't mocked this up yet. This is just a line that we had at the shop. I figured we'd bring it with some other stuff to kind of do some testing. And then what we'll actually do is delete the glow plug, the #1 glow plug over there, and the harness. So this will go in the cylinder to delete the glow plug. This is where the factory glow plug harness goes into the top of essentially, it's kind of the valve cover. So imagine just draining the turbo oil into the valve cover, and then it obviously makes its way back down to the oil pan. So this will go right there, and then we'll do the oil drain right there up top. So bunch of cool little fittings and stuff. We have the factory downpipe out of here. We have everything torn apart. We also have to deal with the battery, which we'll get to that here in a little bit. Right now we're looking at the 12-volt wiring. So the wiring that goes to the battery as well as the starter and alternator. We cannot have the battery over there. The turbo is essentially going to sit right there. So we're going to make a dual battery kit over here, and we'll figure that out later today. So we're just going to continue working on it and actually installing some pieces now. All right, so glow plug delete. Just remove this fella and put that block off guy in there. Turbo drain.
Nice.
In. Turbo feed.
I think if anything, we'll probably have to shorten that line a little bit.
Doing a little fan shroud trimming.
Yep. Trying to make it look nice and pretty.
The other thing that we need to do is relocate this ICP sensor right there. So if you guys didn't know, ICP sensor. So this is a little thing we got. So this actually relocates it up over there. So here we have that little relocation kind of set up over here. We're gonna have to play with the wiring a little bit because that connector's right there. But we're also going to remove or move the glow plug control module back behind the alternator if we have enough room. Clearance a little bit of the fan shroud just to get the pipe to come back over here because it snakes in between and then down over here out of the turbo. You can see I have the compressor housing on over there with the oil feed going to the top, and then we have the little oil splitter right there. So once we get the other turbo and everything mounted, we should be able to run that. But next thing we need to do is this. Here's a heater hose that comes right out of that hole right there, and it kind of snakes up here, and then it bolts right here, and it's right there in the way. So we're gonna cut it about right here, so that way we put a hose clamp on it, and then we should be able to snake a hose and then get back over here to the heater core.
Right. Yep. At least that's the plan.
Now we have a pipe going on. I'm really excited for a pipe. So factory intercooler. Yup. Bam.
Let's see back here.
That's a pretty important, and technically I could just drive home right now.
Might as well.
You know? So if you ever wanted to delete your turbo on the side of the road, I guess you could. Your second turbo. Turbo, look at that. Hey, how heavy is that?
An educated guess, probably 40 pounds.
Oh,
Maybe not quite. I don't know. It's hard to say.
See, that's what we've just been waiting, you know, to put a turbo on it, and here we are. Just add another turbo. It's a nice bracket. Better. The coupler on that fella. Oh, you did it.
The orange already in
I-
there.
I'll get out of the way. Look at this. You know?
Once it gets going fast.
Yeah, like
It's just the changing
all
the-
the little prep. You know?
Right. Changing all the other stuff.
Still in the blue coupler over here. Blue pipe.
So just this is, and this like needs to come up.
Because I mean, there is room to kind of come around this way a little bit more and sneak it over.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so now we have this pipe on. We have the blue pipe, the intercooler pipe, so it's actually like an aluminum one instead of the factory like plastic one. That truck over there that we did all the fabrication on had an aftermarket aluminum coolant reservoir, whereas this one has like an OEM style one that you get at like O'Reilly's or something. It's just kind of bumping the bottom of it a little bit. And so we might end up doing like a slight revision, I guess, on that. So that way, you know, you don't have to run an aftermarket reservoir in order to make it work. But I think for now, we'll probably just swap the coolant reservoir from the other truck onto this truck just so we can get her going. Out. She's out. Ooh. What do you think?
I think the concept, like the idea of having an aluminum pressurized reservoir versus plastic is definitely a good idea, but I believe it could be done better than this one. I don't know.
If it was like looked more fabricated versus like, it almost looks like a cast piece.
Yeah, I think it's because of the finish that's on it.
It's just a weird finish. Well, today we're discovering the differences between an 03 and an 06. Right here, there's this big dip where like an ECU would go, and then look at this, bam. It doesn't compute.
The 03 doesn't have this, so this plane right here just goes straight across. So you know this is an extra inch and a quarter that truck doesn't have.
Well, that's not nice. That one hurts. Look at him. That is the hurty face right there, because that pipe was like, that's the main reason.
Yeah.
Like that's the main enchilada behind this whole thing. And then if we stick a down pipe, you know, because now you have the down pipe underneath it, but then that thing goes above, and then the clearances, and maybe there's not enough. Like, how does that look?
Yeah, I don't know, because there's, to begin with, I mean, the downpipe is 4-inch, and there's really not a lot of room between the 4-inch downpipe and the firewall right there.
And there's so much more room.
Yeah.
That sucks. I would have never thought that would be the case. That's insane. Guys, I just wanted to interrupt today's video and let you guys know that this video is sponsored by MotionAutoTV.com, where currently we are doing a giveaway on a 1995 Nissan 240SX S14 with an S14 SR20 DET swapped underneath the hood. This thing is really, really rad. Over the past couple weeks, we actually rebuilt it on the channel. We did a full paint job on it, cleaned it up a little bit, and this thing is just a really, really rad car. So if you guys haven't shopped with us before, every $1 you spend on MotionAutoTV.com right now until the end of July, so July 31st, 2025, every $1 you spend will get you 25 entries for a chance to win this thing. And if you are currently a VIP, or if you would like to sign up for our VIP membership, you actually get double entries and a bunch of bonus entries. So if you guys don't even want to think about it, we've pretty much been doing a giveaway every month or every other month. So if you sign up for the VIP, you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to buy anything. It's just you're automatically billed. You're automatically entered with a bunch of entries as well. Yeah, appreciate the support on the giveaways. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and somebody is going to be really, really lucky to take this thing home. So let's get back to today's video. Hello. All right, so we're back at True Focus. What has it been? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks and 1 day. We're back over here, and they got the new pipe. So look at this fella right here. This is the one. They had to make this a little bit tighter to come out of the turbo, so a little extra pie right there. Coming back into the bellow, and the other thing, and then you had to redo the down pipe, right? Yep. So instead of it going from like it was 3.5 the whole way anyhow, right? It was 4. It was 4-inch up here, then it necked down to a 3.5 because the down pipe was 3.5. Yep. So this is actually just 3.5 all the way back and down, and this piece actually hooks up to like the factory exhaust sort of deal, but down below the truck where you could actually hit it with a V-band down there. So lots of little updates. Also the thing for the coolant tank, they changed this.
Very similar, just a slightly different angle.
Just a different angle. So now this has been modified a little bit. But essentially everything is done and everything is jigged up and ready for to sell some kits, I hope. We're just gonna go ahead and get this stuff heat wrapped and installed on the truck. And then we're gonna drive it, make sure everything's good, and then go from there. All right, so new downpipe. Again, you have this big giant, like 5-inch, like Marmon style. I guess it's not even really a Marmon style, it's just a big dog. But that goes from 5-inch to a 4-inch, right? And then from 4-inch to a 3.5, little adapter, then down to some pie. So this fella just goes down here, like that, all custom like. That's beautiful. Right? Yeah. That's custom. And then this fella right here just goes bam out of the factory turbo. This is our new turbo. Look at that. Bam. It's like it was meant to be. So there we are, kit is installed. Not officially, we just wanted to get some pictures and video of everything without the heat wrapping on these two pipes right here. So obviously that's the turbo manifold, that's the downpipe. We have the charge pipe, which we don't need to do anything with this. This is pretty much good to go. The air out of this fella goes into the factory turbo. Air out of that fella comes out of here into the factory intercooler and then through the factory, basically just intake manifold right there. So yeah, everything looks really good. They went ahead and built this battery box right here that holds both of the batteries in the engine bay, so we don't have to do any weird relocating. Just had to do some wiring. Did a lot of heat wrapping and some other stuff over here. We relocated the ICP sensor, this fella right there, so it's enough room for the downpipe. Heater core. We have the vacuum line that comes over here that goes to the factory map sensor. We have an air filter on here. Everything is pretty good. Pretty much almost done, so all we really need to do, pull this off, heat wrap it, and then we should be able to fire this thing up for the first time. And once that's done, then it's literally just take this thing for a drive, so we're really close to that. So everything has been heat wrapped, everything looks really good. So with this up pipe, there's energy in the heat. So you want to try to keep not only like your under hood temperatures like cooler and like keep this stuff from making everything hot around it, you want to keep the heat inside, you know, inside the exhaust and keep that energy for the turbo. So yeah, this is going to be the turbo going to the other one. This is the downpipe, and then this is the piece of downpipe that essentially hooks on this and goes down the firewall like that. And then you could adapt it to like your factory exhaust down there, and that's pretty much exactly what we're gonna do. It goes up. It's actually a downpipe, but currently it goes up.
So we're gonna punch 2 holes right here with some nutserts, and this will bolt right there, the 90-degree bend. come over to the inside of the fender over here, maybe another 90-degree bend up, and then bolt to those 2 holes that are M8s right there, just like that.
All right, so the up pipe is on. Check out this fitment right here. Right? Not too bad. Now we gotta do is stick this fella on there. Everything you do is bad. Big moment. We're gonna start. Batteries are connected. Turbo is hooked up. Turbo feed, turbo drain. Map sensor, mass airflow sensor. I just wonder if we're gonna be able to hear it. Another turbo or no?
Sorry.
Here. What happened?
I forgot to put a copper washer in.
Did it come with one?
Yeah. This side is sealed with an O-ring, so this side's good. Tight it loose. That's okay.
All right, so this ICP sensor relocation thing, it needs like a copper O-ring on it, and then we should be able to fire it off. We'll actually drive it. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm ready to rip it. Oh yeah, you could do like right here, it's like happening. Definitely need to figure out that crankcase vent, because it's just going and it's just gonna smell like oil the whole time we drive it. Huh? I mean, it definitely has like the same, like it spools up like stock. It's like barely chilling. Like that's how it is in the 6.7. It just doesn't really, it just sounds like it goes like it's not stressed out. It's not trying to, you know, like a stock turbo, they spool up, they sound like they're spinning fast. When you have them compounded, they just sound like they're just relaxing. They just come up to like a certain RPM and then they just chill. 30.
What do they usually run factory?
About 20-ish. Alright, so it definitely pulls a little bit more up top, and that's where you get that extra airflow of the big turbo. The stock turbo, you know, they pull a little bit. It sounds weird not having all the 6.0 noises. Like it doesn't sound like a 6-liter anymore, because normally you get in the throttle and it goes like, sounds like Chewbacca, and then now you just hear like a turbo. You tell that now that it's like warmer, you know, it feels like it wants to spool everything a little faster. Remember that thing I was talking about with the energy? I mean, I would say for the first test drive, that was pretty good. Nothing crazy. I'm really curious on the tuning aspect of it, because right now it's 100% stock. Injectors, HPOP, ICP, like all of the stuff, stock map sensor. So normally when guys like do a compound setup, obviously they do bigger injectors, and then they do a bigger map sensor where it can actually read all of the boost, because the factory map sensors on these peak out about 28 pounds. And we definitely made more than 28 pounds. So
That oil leak, I just want to make sure it's not coming from like the oil feed Y or anything.
well, it's definitely leaking. Well, I think it is. It's probably this glow plug harness.
Oh, really?
And then some extra stuff. I mean, that was pretty successful though. I mean, nothing crazy other than obviously the oil leak, which kind of the plan is when we get this thing back to the shop, not right away, but like I want to dyno it with the stock injectors and stock everything, just to see like how much power it actually makes as it is. And then from there, I want to pull the cab, injectors, head studs, reseal the motor, do all that stuff just so it doesn't leak, because I want this thing like really nice, where it's just like a nice truck and it doesn't freaking leak. So yeah, it's definitely leaking right now. How's it look down there? Pretty nice, huh? Yeah, it's been leaking. Yeah, it has been leaking. This thing definitely leaks a little bit of oil, but it leaked oil before, so it's not anything new. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and load this thing up on the trailer, take her back, and I guess we gotta fix some leaks before we get too crazy with this thing. All right, guys, so we have my compound turbo 6.7 towing the compound turbo 6.0. All right, that's not too bad. So yeah, this thing's loaded up on the trailer. We got another bracket to support the battery box, and then now we're just gonna grab some lunch, head back to the shop, and then get this thing unloaded. Maybe take the guys at the shop for a little rip in it. I also need to talk with Matt from Bless Performance, see about some tuning stuff as far as the, you know, deleting the mass airflow sensor, if that has any effect on what we're trying to do here.
Hello. Buddy, look at this. This is a nice unit. You guys drove it? I want to rip it. I want to give it a drive. Your car spends more time.
Changing an intake manifold gasket. Can I do that?
You just did a head gasket. You literally just did a head gasket 2 weeks ago. You did intake manifold
In
gasket.
2 months. Where have you been?
This car, look.
Where
look
did you
look
go
hey,
for
get
2
that-
months?
Get that JB weld on the block. That's fucking good.
Go home!
All right, we're gonna drive it down the street. I'm gonna give Sean a ride and see what he thinks. So also, if you are interested in the kit for an 03 to an 04, the one where the firewall is a little bit bigger, that one will technically have a little bit bigger of a downpipe option on it. There's just a little bit more room to work with on there, but that's gonna be the only one that we make. That'll basically be a one-off. If somebody's interested in that kit right away, it'd work on an 03, 04, but not on an 05 and up, just because the firewalls are different, because they have that dip down. We should have one of those available right away, because half the kit is already done. But yeah, if like I said, if you're interested, link in the description to sign up for it. It will be available very soon.
sense.
Watch when I turn it off.
Yeah, but it's also an electronic gauge though.
Alright, so we just got back from the first drive with this thing, actually having it, you know, out on the street. We drove it around a little bit close to the shop up there near True Focus. Drove it around a little bit out here. It's definitely a little bit faster up top. Where this thing is really gonna shine is with the different tuning stuff on it. Right now we just have the mass airflow sensor like laying down to the side, which I don't know how much that really affects, because normally, you know, it's reading the mass airflow sensor, it's doing some other stuff like that. So I went ahead and I pulled a log and I sent it over to Matt from Blessed Performance. He's the one who was doing the tuning on this thing before, so he's gonna send me a revision for this. And again, right now it's 100% stock injectors, head studs, everything. It's literally like we added an extra turbo to this thing other than the tuning. So I'm pretty stoked on it so far. It sounds really freaking cool. We definitely need to do a couple more things in the coming weeks, like do some head studs and some upgraded injectors and make a lot of power. So the next video you guys see of this thing, we're gonna have it on the dyno. But if you guys are interested in purchasing this kit, obviously we worked with True Focus to develop this thing, but I'm actually gonna be selling it through me, through Motion Auto Performance. So if you guys are interested in this thing, it will be for sale on Motion Auto Performance. Right now we're just gonna have a email, like a sign up list for it. So that will be the link in the description. So if you guys are interested in a turbo kit for your 6.0 powerstroke, as you guys seen, we already have this thing all 3D scanned. The jigs and everything are made. Pretty much I just want to drive it for, you know, put like 1,000 miles or something on it. See if there's anything weird that we need to change or do a revision on. But so far so good. Definitely want to get some dyno numbers, and I just want to do, you know, a lot of data. That's the thing, is I want to see, you know, how it works with, you know, the smaller turbo in the valley, this big old Borg Warner on there, and then with the stock injectors, see how much power we actually improved, because we have all of the dyno numbers from previously. So that'll be the next video, is dynoing it probably with stock injectors, all the other stuff, and then installing a set of aftermarket injectors, head studs, and all that stuff. Dynoing it, see how much power it makes then, and kind of going from there. So yeah, again, we are planning on selling this thing, so link in the description. I know a lot of people have talked about, you know, making a compound kit, selling a compound kit. I've been driving my compound turbo 6.7 powerstroke for the past couple weeks, and that thing is freaking phenomenal, and I just can't wait to actually start driving this thing and seeing how it does with the tuning and towing and all the other stuff, because honestly, I've been really impressed with this 6.0. I really feel like they're coming back in like a different way. People aren't relying on these trucks to like tow their camper and stuff. This is like their fun play truck that, you know, they lift, they tune, they go cruise on the weekends, and they have a 6.7 for like their daily driver sort of deal. But maybe this could be somebody's daily driver sort of deal, and they just want to throw a compound kit on it. So yeah, I'm stoked on it. I hope you guys are stoked on it. And again, if you guys haven't already, check out our current giveaway on motionautotv.com, which as of right now is this Zinky S14. But in the future, we might be doing something else. So appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know what you think of the 6.0. See you later.